Welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, Ken Johnson. So today, let's talk about an issue that I've been dealing with. If you're like me, you're probably used to seeing some of these scammy commercials on YouTube. For instance, there's this one pair of glasses that has that stupid computer voice where it's being transcribed, and it'll either say something like talking about magic glasses that you can see without glasses. They'll talk about that you can see you can use it for nearsighted and farsightedness. That automatically adapts to your eyes. Another thing that they'll do is they'll talk about that you can see from 100 to 700 degrees, or they'll say 100 to 700 diopters. And then they will also use various names to make it sound and look like it's legitimate. For instance, they'll say that these are the new eyeglasses from Japan, but all the people in the ad are Chinese, reading Chinese writing. They'll say something like that it's from the douche, August, and Blake. Well, who are they? You know what's funny? Internet doesn't know. AI doesn't know. No one knows these people, but somehow douche, August, and Blake should mean something to you. Well, it don't, because they don't exist. Another thing that they'll do is that they'll talk about Professor Thomas that designed the glasses. Again, who is Professor Thomas? No one knows. Moreover, why should you care? As a YouTuber, I'm held to a certain standard. If I put out wrongful information or I engage in some type of scam or anything of that nature, I am immediately demonetized. They take down the videos. I am held to this higher standard. But YouTube, which is owned by Google, so long as people pay them, they will run these scam ads all the time. For me, this is troublesome because I have no control over the ads that are playing when you watch my videos. I have no say whatsoever. And when these ads play and you watch them, I get money from it, which I don't want to give these people any more money than I can. Another issue, you have elderly people and you have people that they're vulnerable because they have comprehension issues, trust issues, whole host of issues that are diagnosed and either treated or trying to be treated or not treatable at all. And so these people, they have no control like you and I. And as you get older, these mechanisms for trust and everything, it does make it more where you're susceptible to scams. And I think we all know that one old person that they have a box or maybe they have a drawer of glasses and they're fiddling through trying to find the right pair. And this is really common for diabetics, and I'm speaking as a diabetic, and I've actually talked to an eye doctor about it, and he was talking about it. Says it's very common to have diabetics that will have 4, 5, 6, 7 pairs of eyeglasses because the human eye is unlike a lot of other animal eyes. We do not have a bone in our eye. We have a fluid sac. And because of that, our eye, it changes shape all the time, especially if our sugar is off. And so you'll notice a lot of diabetics, a lot of elderly people, they will have a ton of glasses that they're rummaging through, trying to find one where they can actually read something. And so being told you don't have to go to an eye doctor, you don't have to have multiple glasses, this one pair of glasses will do it all. Imagine being, 70, 80 years old and thinking, okay, there's a lot going on now that was science fiction when I was a child. Let's give it a shot. So there's a lot of YouTube videos out there that try to tell people this is a scam. But these sites, they're not going to pay money and actually see if it's a scam. And they're doing you a disservice as well. Because how is it right for me to say something is a scam if I haven't actually looked at it? If I haven't actually touched it and looked at it and told you, hey, look, here it is, how do you know it's a scam? Now, Target, they have some glasses very similar to this, and they sell them, but it's a different company, different everything, but same idea. And there are some YouTubers that went to Target, and they have looked at those glasses. There are news crews that went and bought those glasses and had them tested, and sure enough, they're a scam. Thinking that there's really no difference between the two, I went ahead and used my own money, and I bought a pair. And so we're going to look at them now. So here is the package that I received. It is from a company. They labeled themselves as New Life. Now, this company that I ordered from was totally different. It had a different name. Then they said that there's going to be a different name on the bill that showed up with the bank. And now that came back through, and there's supposed to be another company. So there's like 5, 6, 7, 8 companies that I've been dealing with that's all one thing. And when you look online, of course, there's multiple companies using similar names, and they're all saying that they're not the manufacturer, they're just a company that sells this stuff. What I did find interesting, these are shipped out of Elizabeth, New Jersey. They shipped it to Kenneth Johnson Johnson. So if I start getting spam, or not spam, but junk mail, I know where it came from. So that's, at least they marked their junk mail stuff. And since I ordered this, I have been getting text spam from the company. At first it's like your order's coming, and now they're wanting to sell me everything from toothbrushes to God knows what else. All they're trying to do is get money out of you. And their site, it is very much like QVC almost, and how they try to say, oh, such and such bought this from New York or from whatever. So it's just a sales mentality. So this right here is the order slip, and then doesn't even come in a box. It just comes into just a regular box. Now, that I could pay for an upgrade for a case. That's what I was trying to say, is a case. I could pay for an upgrade for a case. That's a legitimate case. Now, they did put it in a very thin plastic case. So, yeah. There are these. They say these are indestructible. Do they look indestructible to you? They feel very plasticky. They say you can run over them. This don't even look like regular metal. This is plastic with a metal-like foil over it. The frames are plastic. They show them bending and wrapping around. Very low quality. I'm going to get this right here, they're saying this is Japanese technology. I'm going to see what that actually says, what it translates to. They show running a torch over this. There's a spot there. That's another thing I see a lot of issues with. They say that there's little spots, little divots, things of that nature. So first thing I want to do is I want to see what this says. So this right here is Chinese. Now the ad says it's Japanese technology, but this is traditional Chinese writing as I understand it. And in the Chinese, it's translating out to roughly be that it is true blue radiation protection. So somebody understands Chinese can probably translate better in Google, but that's pretty much what it's trying to tell me. So even though they say this is all Japanese technology, looks like it's made in China, had Chinese in the ad, Chinese on the product. So it may be Japanese technology, doubtful, but it's all Chinese. Now one of the things this thing is supposed to do is turn colors and become shades. So let's see if it'll do that. I do see a film trying to block this radiation. See that? But they're not wanting to change colors to shades. So I'll have to check that later under daylight conditions, but not changing to shades, so that didn't happen. I'm going to actually try to read with these because here's the other thing. The ad said there's two different commercials. One is a woman's voice, one is a male's voice. It has the same exact images, video being shown. One says it can go from, the female one says from 100 degrees to 700 degrees. Now what does that even mean? That you can read from 100 degrees to 700 degrees. That makes no sense. The one with the male voice, and it's all the same company. The one with the male voice says 100 diopters to 700 diopters. Well, that isn't true. If it is, these things right here, you wouldn't be able to see with them no matter what, because when you go like to Dollar Tree, and or if you remember my shades video where I took the Yum fishing glasses and I turned them into bifocal fishing glasses, the magnification that you see, 1.75, that's diopters. Diopters is a mathematical equation, and like the human eye, I want to say it is roughly, it's like 40 diopters, at least part of it, if not more. I believe it's like 40 diopters, and that's strong. Then our corrective lenses, you're looking at 2 diopters, 3 diopters. You start getting up into 7 diopters, you got somebody that's blind. They're just not able to see. So then for them to say 100 to 700 diopters, that's totally wrong. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some mice type that I can barely see. And I got something right here. This is some line. I can barely read some of this stuff. And just kind of, they always have a out of frame video, and then they put the glasses over it so you can see. So I don't know. Let's see. Did that make a big difference? Can you see anything any differently? I cannot see any differently. And they're saying that, like, I can't read any of that. Just cannot read it. And they say, well, you know, no matter what your prescription is, I think this is actually worse than with my regular eyes. I can't read it anyway, and with this, I definitely cannot read it. This is pathetic. Absolutely freaking pathetic. They wanted $49 for this. But if I paid, no, $47. If I paid $49, I could get 3 of these. I could get 3 pieces of junk instead of just 1 piece. So I could share the junk with my friends. But we're going to check these out in the daytime because it's nighttime right now. And we'll see how these react if they turn to shades. But so far, if I tried to wrap this around my finger like they said you could do on the video, or showed that you could do on the video, there is no way I could do that. Nothing about what they showed on the video I could do. If I ran over my truck, I'd just have busted pieces of plastic. And that's the other thing they talk about. Oh, we give you a 10-year warranty, and then they're like, we have to pay $10 for a 3-year warranty. So I knew it was going to be a scam, but I'm always impressed at how scammy some of these scams are, that they don't even try to have a modicum of respect and dignity when they're scamming you. This right here is probably one of the most pathetic scams I have seen in a long time. And the only reason why I'm doing this is because I'm afraid that there might be an older person that they're watching this and they're like, I'm tired of buying glasses, and if half this stuff is true, it's better than what I'm paying out. And I'm telling you that none of what they're saying seems to be true at this point. We'll check with the sunlight, but it appears to me at this point in time that everything that they have said is an absolute lie. It is a fraud, and it is nothing. I mean, it's an outright lie. So it is a scam, and it's targeted at old people, which in Florida at least, there's a law protecting elderly and disadvantaged peoples. And at the federal level, I believe that there's also some laws against targeting the elderly and disadvantaged, and that's what they're doing. And that's the reason why I'm doing this video. I don't want somebody elderly looking at this saying, oh, if just half of it's true, it'll be worth it. No. It's not true. Not even half of it is true. When we do tomorrow's test, 100% of it will not be true. I'm sure of it. If it turns into shades, okay, then I've got shades. Blue blocker, they said that they only block out 19% of the light. I don't have a way that I can test that, although there did seem to be a film that it was trying to block out some of the light or refract some of the light, but there's none of that coating that you normally see on the blue blocker lenses. Moreover, there has been a lot of research coming out now saying that the blue blocker glasses do not do as advertised, that they're not going to make it where your eyes are less fatigued. They're not going to make it where you are staying up all hours of the night, and you know, that you can go to sleep at a decent time. All these wild claims that you see with blue blocker glasses, the evidence is panning out to say not so much. There are people with light sensitivity, and you might do better with light sensitivity glasses. That's a totally different thing than blue light glasses. But at this point in time, everything about these has been a lie. So we'll see each other just a few seconds. It'll be next day for me, and go from there. So I've got these out in the sun. It's hard to show this, but you can see the blue on the rim. They're turning this bluish purple color, same thing as when I put them under the blue light, and when I hold them up to the sun, they have this whole blue purple thing going on, but they're not darkening, they're not turning to shades. That's one thing that this ad said, is that they would turn to shades. They don't do that. Alright, so just showing you. Not turning to shades at all. Not reacting to the sun at all. Yeah. Not really seeing much of a difference, are you? I'm not. Just really trying to show this purple bluish haze that's got going on. It's really weird. So maybe they are blue blockers. I'll give them that. That's plastic right there, you can tell. You can't wrap that around your finger like they say you can. You can't. This isn't even metal. This is foil over plastic. There's no way I could run a truck over this. Look at the plastic hinges. It's just cheap plastic. So I'm not going to run this over with a truck, but there's no way this is going to work if you did. You're not taking that cheap plastic and wrapping around your fingers. That doesn't happen either. I've already tried to show them. It doesn't magnify anything. It doesn't clarify anything. It doesn't do hardly anything that it says it will do. So, and also, it's not even 20% blue blocker, so it's less than standard on blue blocking. It's 19 is what they're saying, so but it's not even a decent level of blue blocking. So are these glasses a scam? Absolutely. Abso-freaking-lutely. So I paid just under $50 for these glasses. That you're supposed to, I already went over everything that you're supposed to, be able to run over them all. You can't do that with these glasses. I already went over what they don't cover. About the only thing that they might do is blue light reflection, but it's only 19%. So that's less than what most blue light glasses do. And there's no proof that blue light does any damage or harm to a person. If anything, it is a light sensitivity, and you need a different type of pair of glasses than the blue blockers. And a lot of optics companies actually say that. They have that in their website where they're saying blue blockers, we cannot definitively say that there's any problem with them. You need something else. But I did reach out to the company, and they have a set rule that they will only refund you up to 80%. And then when you return it, then they do a restocking fee of 15%. And you have to pay for the shipping. And any type of protection plan that you bought for shipping or whatever is non-refundable. So in this case, I paid close to $50, like $47, $48. I got back $28. Now on that order, they actually had a deal where they was saying we can get 3 for $49. My mother, she tried on glasses. She thought they were garbage. And she's like, why would you want 3 of essentially nothing? That's pretty strong words, because she saw no benefit. I've had other people look at it. They see no benefit in these glasses whatsoever. I've spent my money so that you don't have to. You now have a review on YouTube, the only one I know of on YouTube for these glasses. These NoBlu glasses are a scam. If you know of anybody that gets scammed to buy them, please reach out. You got the Federal Trade Commission. You can do a federal report against them for scamming the elderly and disadvantaged. And then each state, just look up your state, they will have a place that you can submit consumer complaints. And so like in the state of Florida, we have actually multiple agencies that handle consumer complaints. The Commissioner of Agriculture and Consumer Services is actually a clearinghouse for consumer complaints. And then we have agencies on top of that that you can submit to directly. The only way that we can actually get these companies stop doing what they're doing is to file complaints against them. And I would also say file complaints against YouTube and Google, because they are lacking in their duty to make sure that they're not putting out content that would be scamming people. And if I've got to be held accountable, they should too. Thank you for watching. I hope you found this video to be of help, educational, informative, entertaining maybe. And please like, share, comment, subscribe. All that stuff really does help. And I don't want to just blow past that. Do share this video, because if you know of anybody that's elderly, works with elderly people, that they have compulsive buying disorders, anything of that nature, maybe diabetic and frustrated, share the video. Let them know that this company is a scam. You cannot just have one pair of glasses and it read both far and near. The whole blurry thing, they just set it to 2.5 diopters out of focus, so that when you put lens over it, it's back in focus. It's a camera trick. Don't fall for their tricks. But with that said, thank you for watching, and I'll see you again next time. Bye.